We are a river city, a bold city, the First Coast, a place to create and to belong. Here, the sun shines a little brighter, and so do the people. We share a love for our region, a pride for Jacks, and a passion for the beautiful game, dedicated to giving everyone a sporting chance. Together, we will elevate soccer and sport in our community by lifting every voice. We are Sporting Club Jacksonville. We are Sporting Jacks.
Hello and welcome into the Sporting Jacks Report. I'm Cole Pepper. Emerson Burris will join me in just a few minutes. Coming up on the show, the Sporting Jacks men's team has a historic match in Rhode Island. The women keep on rolling, and an amazing comeback story authored by Parker Roberts. But let's start with the men who went away and came home with some history. In the first 2 seasons in the league, Rhode Island FC established themselves as a model expansion franchise. 2 deep runs in the playoffs, a terrific stadium complex, and an engaged fan base. That's just what Sporting Jacks is looking to emulate. And in the first meeting between the two sides in USL Championship play, they tangled in a gale force wind in a back-and-forth battle. To Pawtucket we go, and the wind was certainly a factor in this one. Scoreless at halftime. In the 79th minute, though, a mistake here by Sporting Jacks. Goalkeeper Christian Oliveira's clearance is blocked. It bounces back, and it goes in to give Rhode Island a 1-0 lead, a heartbreaking moment there, but Sporting Jacks would not lay down. Less than 5 minutes later, Mo Traore with a long ball flicked on by Emil Jääskeläinen, headed back to Jääskeläinen. His shot is blocked, but Rafferty Pedder is there to put it in. First men's goal in league play for the club. Sporting Jacks holds on for a point. Never a bad thing on the road. The team should get stronger as more players are added into the fold.
We went to a difficult venue against a good side with good physicality and good running power, and I think how the game panned out, going to go behind, then getting level and then obviously getting the man sent off, it was a challenge for us. But we know every game in this league is going to be a challenge, so we feel like we're improving.
I mean, I got here last Thursday and then trained. I didn't even get to train on Friday, so it just kind of like happened really quick. I didn't know how many minutes I was going to get, but I got a decent amount of minutes, and to get around the guys, and especially not being here for the whole preseason, and getting to know them, it was very important for me.
I mean, it's good for the group because every player that we are getting so far, like they just keep adding quality and intensity to the group, which is like what we stand for. So, yeah, throughout the year, we'll definitely be like a solid team to play against.
All right, here are the numbers from the match. You see all the shots from Rhode Island. A lot of those were for outside of the box. So Rhode Island just kind of testing, hoping, particularly early on with the wind at their back. The efficiency for Sporting Jacks, pretty good. 6 shots, 5 of them on target. 1 found the mark. You see the possession favoring Rhode Island. They know how to play at home in that situation. You'd like to see some corners created, a little more possession. But overall, getting a point in an away match, nothing to sneeze at as Sporting Jacks get set to come back home. We've talked a lot about the firsts since the club launched. We can add a couple of more. First to the list, the first goal and the first point. Next up, the first win. Will that happen on Wednesday? There have been a bushel of historic firsts for the club already. Of course, aside from the first trophy or league championship, the first goal is one of the most venerated firsts for a club. For the rest of his life, Rafferty Pedder will take with him scoring the first goal for the men's team. Emerson Burris now with more from that historic moment.
And there it is.
Gets chested down. The volley is saved by Vegas. Sporting Jacks with their first goal in the club's history. Rafferty Pedder on the follow-up has brought Sporting Jacks level.
It feels really good. Obviously it's a really nice feeling to score the first goal and to get off the mark. I think as an attacking player, it's always nice to get the first one in.
But for the 23-year-old from England, the moment was about more than just the milestone.
And more importantly, obviously, we got the point, which means more than the goal, I think.
Pedder's soccer journey started thousands of miles away in England, developing in one of the country's top academies.
What's your name? Who did you play for? And?
I'm 11 years old. I play for USL.
Let's go, skill school.
I joined Tottenham when I was 8 or 9, I think, and then spent my whole academy there. Went through the academy 18s, 23s. That was amazing.
After later chasing first-team opportunities with Queen's Park Rangers and Oxford City, Pedder made the move to the U.S., most recently playing for Tacoma Defiance before signing with Sporting Jacks.
I think the opportunity was really good. The projects, as everyone can see, is a really interesting and good one. I think the level's good.
And even after just a few days, he says the chemistry is already building.
I've only been here about 6 days, but everyone's super chilled and lovely, and it's a really easy group to settle in, I think.
Now, after scoring the first goal in club history, Pedder hopes it's just the start of a big season in Jacks.
Yeah, get as many goals and assists as possible, and obviously the team get as far as we can.
Pedder's a great example of the kind of young ascending player that Sporting Jacks has added to the roster. It took a bit of time to get his visa cleared, but now that he's here, he's settling in and he's already paying dividends. We'll look for more big things from Pedder as the season progresses. The next chance to see Pedder and the rest of the squad comes on the field on Wednesday against Miami FC. It'll be the first meeting between these two sides from Florida. Tickets are available by calling 904-863-KICK or by going to sportingjacks.com. If you can't make it to the match, you can watch on CW17 or streaming on CBS Golazo. Now to the women's team, who have been flying. They came out this week 4 points clear atop the table as they prepared to face Fort Lauderdale United for the third time this season. Sporting Jacks had earned 4 points in the previous two matchups, and this one was an impressive display. To South Florida we go. First visit to Fort Lauderdale for Sporting Jacks. First two meetings between the two sides had been here in Jacksonville. 20th minute off a corner kick. Sophia Bowman sends it to the back post, and Georgia Brown rises and heads it in. Second goal in 3 matches and second of the season for Georgia. Take another look here. Brown, who's 6'2", just rises over the top. Tough to stop that. 1-0 Sporting Jacks. 29th minute now, Sporting Jacks on the run again. Grace Philpott slides one through for Bailey DeSmit, and DeSmit with a laser beam to the near post, impossible to stop. 6th goal of the season for DeSmit, who is now tied for 6th in the league. 2-0 Sporting Jacks. That's the way it would end. Sporting Jacks had more chances, but it ends with another victory. 8 wins and a draw in the last 10 games. Sporting Jacks has scored the opposition 20-3 over that stretch. Dominant. Look at these numbers. Speaking of dominance, 24 shots to 4. 9 shots on target to 1. Credit Fort Lauderdale's goalkeeping that kept it as just a 2-0 game. Possession, dominant. Corners, dominant. This was a command performance by Sporting Jacks. No doubt about it. Now they look forward to a meeting tomorrow with a tough Dallas side.
I mean, I know they're a good team. They're pretty high in the rankings. So I think it's going to be a good competitive game, but I think as long as we go in and do what we need to do and take care of business, we'll be good.
I mean, they're a really good team, and they've talked about momentum. They've been doing really well as well. So it's going to be a battle, but yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
For us, you know, we did a bit on them today and looked in on what their tendencies are. They're under new leadership. The new coach has got them organised. He seems to have quite a good influence on them right now. So they've had a positive response to him coming in. So, you know, we know that it's going to look a little bit different, but we've got to use last week's game as a good confidence boost going into this one.
As you take a look at the Gainbridge Super League standings presented by Price.com, Sporting Jacks with 6 points clear at the top of the table. That after Lexington and Dallas had a draw on Wednesday. Top 4 teams will make it to the postseason. Right now, Sporting Jacks is in the driver's seat. They also have a game in hand on Carolina, who's starting to close. Things looking very good for Sporting Jacks as they look for an opportunity to continue winning and looking forward to the postseason. We now welcome in Becky Burley. Becky, that was an impressive performance from Sporting Jacks. In fact, about as dominant a 2-0 game as I can remember.
Yeah, there is no doubt about that. And, you know, Sporting Jacks wasn't as sharp around the goal for sure, because that could have easily been 3, 4, 5, 6. But you also have to hand it to the Fort Lauderdale goalkeeper. She kind of stood on her head a few times and kept them in the game.
Well, Sporting Jacks was so dominant. Are there some lessons that can still be taken from a game like that?
Yeah, I think that the biggest lesson that I would see from that game is you cannot allow your opponent to dictate your crispness or your sharpness. And that's hard. That's a really hard thing to do because it's human nature. But I think when Sporting Jacks is trying to do something very unusual, which is to be an expansion team at the top of the table at the end of the season, like you got to do some unusual things. And that one of those unusual things is fighting human nature to really let your level be dictated by you and no one else.
All right, now we look ahead to tomorrow's matchup in Dallas. Trinity have had some changes, as Stacey Balaam mentioned. What are you expecting from this one?
Yeah, honestly, Dallas is one of my teams to watch in this last part of the season. I think they're a team that has a really, really solid roster. I think they have the tools to put it all together and go on a run. And if they do, they're a super dangerous team. So this is one that's going to get the attention of Stacey Balaam and the entire staff.
Becky, thank you. The Sporting Jacks women making their push to the playoffs, and you can be a part of it. The Push to the Playoffs bundle includes tickets to all these 4 remaining home matches, including the March 28th matchup with Spokane. Be a part of history and cheer the women on to the postseason. Get your packs today by calling 904-863-KICK or by logging on to sportingjacks.com. Also mention that tickets to Wednesday's matchup at home for the men against Miami FC are on sale now. 7:30 kickoff at Hodges Stadium. Go to sportingjacks.com or call 904-863-KICK and join us for this Florida derby. Still ahead, she's made an amazing comeback from an ACL injury. What Parker Roberts' return means for the squad. That's next as the Sporting Jacks Report rolls on. Every game of the Gainbridge Super League can be seen streaming on Peacock, including tomorrow's matchup between Sporting Jacks and Dallas Trinity. Home games can be seen on Channel 4, CW17, or right here on the stations of First Coast News. And all games in the USL Championship can be seen streaming on ESPN Plus or CBS Golazo, nationally broadcast on CBS, CBS Sports Network, and ESPN2. All home men's games can be seen on Channel 4 or CW17. It is time now for our Ascension St. Vincent's player feature, and this week, Emerson, we're focusing on a remarkable story, the return of Vice Captain Parker Roberts.
Well, Parker Roberts returning to the field for Sporting Jacks this season might look like a normal return, but her journey back is anything but. After a devastating preseason injury, Roberts fought her way through months of rehab, and as we've all learned, her comeback is about much more than soccer. Parker Roberts playing in a regular season match for Sporting Jacks wouldn't have been unusual. Except 6 months ago in a training session, Roberts tore her ACL.
I think throughout the process, I was feeling a lot of emotions that I wasn't used to, so I really tried to just sit with them and acknowledge them rather than run from them, because I know that, it's valid to feel those things, especially in a circumstance like this.
After a standout career at University of Florida, she began her pro journey with the Orlando Pride. But when things didn't go as planned, Roberts stepped away from the game for a few years, reassessing her relationship with it.
I already did 2 years away. I said, I'm not doing any more time. Of course I had to, but I said, if this is how it's gonna be, then I'm gonna come back the best athlete that I could be. Maybe this is teaching me, okay, you need to become an athlete again. You need to relearn your strength, your movements. You need to relearn what it takes to be a professional athlete.
So when a preseason injury threatened to take another season, it didn't break her outlook.
Some days there's laughter, some days there's tears. And Parker's a great example of us, a great example of the process and what it can be for those that have the right approach.
Sporting Jacks head of performance Steve Fell, along with the club's training staff, guided Roberts every step of the way.
Very, very challenging to be as diligent and disciplined daily with something like that.
I tell every single person that I'm so lucky I tore my ACL in Jacks because of just the incredible team that I had around me.
Her first game back in Fort Lauderdale, that impact was recognized in a moment she didn't expect.
A sight to see not only for Parker Roberts, but her teammates as well. Back on the pitch for the first time since tearing her ACL.
She's been inspiring our whole team, and the stuff that she does behind the scenes is awesome and doesn't get talked about enough.
She's worked so hard to get here and fully deserved those minutes.
A captain's armband, a full circle moment, and a reminder of everything it took to get back.
God, this question is gonna make me emotional. Oh my gosh. It means the world to me, honestly. There's no place I would rather be, and if that meant tearing my ACL even after being out for so long, so be it. Being back on the field and being a soccer player again and being with my teammates has literally meant everything. I'm just very grateful for all the people here. I can't believe this is my life and these are the people I get to live it with, so just very grateful.
Robert says she is just getting started, and after everything it took for her to get here, she's not taking a single moment for granted.
Well, she has been incredible in terms of her comeback, and probably she's been a leader without playing, without being out there. She's still being a leader for this team, which has been amazing. Can't wait to see what's next for Parker.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Even watching that back, I get emotional. I'm just so proud of all of her progress and looking forward to her on the field back at home.
A great addition to the team now in the stretch. Emerson, thanks so much. Sporting Jacks is back at Hodges Stadium March the 25th as Miami FC comes to town for the matchup against the one of two Florida rivals. Tickets available by calling 904-863-KICK or by going to sportingjacks.com. Coming up, we have another local high school soccer team to celebrate. It's another Final Four trip for St. John's Country Day. That's next as the Sporting Jacks report rolls on. As you look ahead to the rest of the season, it's time to rep your pro team. Go to sportingjacks.com/shop to check out all of the merch and gear you need to rep Sporting Jacks. Kits, hats, shirts, you name it. Also use the QR code on your screen if you like and get your Sporting Jacks gear today. Time now for the Youth Soccer Spotlight. Emerson is back to take a close look at another local team that made a Final Four run. It's a familiar name in the state tournament. That is St. John's Country Day.
Yes, another one of the area's top programs, St. John's Country Day. Girls soccer was back in the Final Four this season, but the year tested them in ways they didn't expect. The Spartans' road to the Class 1A Final Four started with adversity. Before the season even began, they lost their leading scorer, Reagan Rapero, to a torn ACL, forcing a complete shift in their attack. As the season went on, younger players were called up to step up, gaining valuable minutes against a tough schedule. And just before the playoffs, another key injury added to the challenge. But through it all, St. John's continued to adapt, finding their form late in the year, and proving once again why they're one of the area's most consistent programs.
You know, for me, I've been doing this a long time, so the results not really the most important thing. It's always a goal to try and win a state championship, and we've been blessed with many. And I feel bad because any team that doesn't win it now, you know, it's kind of looked at as a failure from most people in our program. So it's tough for the girls, but we had a very good season. You know, we lost another key player right before playoffs, an eighth grader that had played all but 7 minutes for us. And so that was a big adjustment for us as well. That one was a little tougher to overcome because of the timing of it. But overall, a very good season. You know, we had probably in my 28 years at St. John's, one of the best culture teams I've ever had. Held high standards, held each other accountable, loved each other. We served each other, and it was really a fun year.
St. John's season ended in the Final Four, but the Spartans' culture and consistency continue to set the standard, and it's always so great catching up with Coach Pickett.
Nobody does it better, and again, everybody is going to be happy with the Final Four, but the level of expectation at St. John's Country Day is so high, you almost have to apologize for it. Nothing to apologize for. Great season for Coach Pickett and company. Emerson, thanks so much. For more on Sporting Jacks in the world of soccer, join Mark Warburton, Stacey Balaam, Liam Fox, and me every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010XL for the Coaches Show, presented by Sporting Jacks. You can listen on air at 10:10 a.m. or online or on demand at 1010XL.com. And for behind-the-scenes conversations about Sporting Jacks, join Emerson, Tony Allegretti, and me on the Sporting Pod. You can subscribe wherever you find your favorite podcasts. A new episode drops each week. Still to come, our Community Spotlight. How Sporting Jacks went from the fairway to the corner flag. That's straight ahead as the Sporting Jacks report rolls on. A reminder, you can catch the Sporting Jacks report every weekend on the stations of First Coast News. Next week we air at 12:30 on Saturday on NBC 12. Remember, if you miss an episode, you can also find us on demand on First Coast News Plus or on the Sporting Jacks YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to get everything you need from Sporting Jacks. It is time now for the Community Spotlight presented by Honda of the Avenues. And this week we want to feature a pair of Sporting Jacks personnel getting out in the community. And what could be more in the community than the players at the players? Sporting Jacks women taking some time out of TPC Sawgrass to check out the tournament. Defender Daviana Vaca even got to hang out with Tony Finau and his family. And then there was this. Georgia Brown getting a high five from Rory McIlroy, which inspired this goal celebration from Georgia after heading one in against Fort Lauderdale. She made the birdie and winning all around. If your child is excited about soccer, register them now for the competitive season in the Sporting Jax Soccer Academy. From U8 to U18, teams are forming now. The season runs August through May with the playoffs to follow. Go to sportingjaxacademy.com to register your child now for the upcoming season. Again, a reminder, our next home match for Sporting Jax comes up on Wednesday when Miami FC comes to town to begin that leg of the Florida rivalry. Tickets for the game are on sale now at sportingjax.com. If you can't make it out to Hodges Stadium, you can watch the game on CW17 and streamed on CBS Golazo. And the first of two doubleheaders is approaching. On April 4th, the Sporting Jax women and men will both play at Hodges Stadium. The women host Brooklyn FC, while the men will launch their rivalry with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Both those games will be aired on Channel 4, but for tickets, once again, sportingjax.com or 904-863-KICK. It promises to be a big day of soccer at Hodges Stadium. And a reminder to follow us on social media for the very latest on what's happening with Sporting Jax on X, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. All the latest with the club right there. And checking our World Cup clock, 84 days away until the eyes of the world turn to the biggest sporting event on the globe, hosted here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The U.S. will have some games coming up as well, some friendlies. A lot to talk about as the summer progresses. Thanks so much for watching the Sporting Jax Report. We'll see you next time.